Hi, this is Glenda, and I think this is now chapter 6 of our journey with our new imaginary crafter, and I thought I'd talk about embellishments. So, most people perhaps think that they've got to rush out and buy, expensive pre-made embellishments, and that's all very well, but I would never buy these unless they're on clearance. Because if I pay full price for this sort of thing, it sits in my drawer because I am just too scungy to use it. I might put it on a very special card for a family member or something, but just the cards that I make lots of, if I've spent too much on my embellishment, it's never going to make it onto the card. So, clearance things, look out for them by all means, and you can get some lovely extras to put on your cards that way. But don't make it your first port of call. First port of call, I think of things that I've already got, like buttons. Now, you may well have a button collection already. You can buy packets of buttons for cards and scrapbooking, and I have succumbed to a couple, even though I've got a whole drawer full of buttons already. But I'm never going to get through them in my entire lifetime, even letting the kids play with them. So that's, it can be a free resource, or it can be something you buy. But, buttons are quite a trendy thing and always have been to put on cards. Lace. Whatever lace you've got around. I've got braid in here and all sorts of oddments of lace and things. So, they're a really good accessory for card making, I think. Bias binding, rickrack, any of those things that might be in your sewing room, you can often bring to your craft table as well. Obviously there's ribbon, and you can buy ribbon so cheaply now compared to what you could. The $2 shops, you buy whole rolls of ribbon, and you don't have to buy expensive designer ribbon. Goodness, the cheap ribbons that are around, some of them are lovely, and they're perfectly good. And I know some people are obsessed with having the exact colour. I never buy all this matching product. I try and have, this would be an exception because I got it on clearance. Somebody was selling it all out, and I bought some packets of different colours. But I just have a stand of ribbon, and I've got more than I get through, and I just match what's nearly right. And somebody the other day said, oh, they really like the card, it's all about the colour matching. No, I just put matching colours together with what I had. I didn't go and have to have the exact one by name. So, just make it look nice. Don't stress over a particular product like that. A ball of string. String is all the in thing now. You don't have to go and buy designer string. Just hardware string. Wool, all your little scraps of wool can look very effective using it instead of ribbon, on tags and at the top of tags, things like that. So, all your bits of wool, pretty wools, keep your eyes open for them. I find this is really good. It's a paper string. They call it ribbon rope, but it's twisted paper, and I find that's a really nice effect. You get those in the $2 shop again. I'm sounding like I'm a walking ad for $2 shops, but honestly, I spend so much time in them. And yeah, it's $2 a packet, and that lasts forever. It really does. It lasts for ages. Once again, I bought these when the $2 shop was closing, and I think they were half price or less, so I stocked up a bit because it is a nice rope thing to use. Baker's twine is all the thing at the moment, and at one point it was really hard to get it in Australia. It's now more common, but some of the prices for it, it's just coloured string. You can use things like little pegs, paper clips. You get some of these fancy paper clips, and they can be a nice trim. Some of them run too expensive. I don't want to think about what I paid for that tin, but I use them for other things too. Brads are a good purchase. They're nice to put on your cards. Again, look for them in the clearance bin. Kaiser in Australia, we have outlet shops. there's something like 50 cents a packet or something for these ones. So again, look for clearance ones with all these embellishments, because your embellishments can add up so quickly. This is hardware store stuff. It's a sticky tape for joining plaster, I think, or something. But think outside the box. Think of what might be around that you can use. Surgical tape you can colour and stamp on, things like that, and make your own washi tape. If you've got metallic threads because you've done embroidery or something like that, metallic thread can look great on cards. These embellishments, the glitter stones, I mean, it was, well, I didn't pay $1.50, again it was the same clearance place, but if you get your bling not pre-stuck, it's a whole lot cheaper. I like the convenience of having them on the card with the with the sticky already on them, but if you want to buy them that way, it's a lot cheaper, and I bought these because it was a style I didn't have. And the other thing, don't underestimate stickers. Now, I think I was given this, so this came in a gift bag of stuff I won. I haven't even opened it because to me, I don't want to put somebody else's finished embellishment on my card. If I'm going to put a tree on my card, I want to make a tree and put it on my card. I don't want to make a card just by sticking something on that's already done. So I don't think that kind of thing is necessarily good value. But I mean, these I got again at Cheapest Chips or somewhere, and as a border, I mean, I would probably use a portion of that. I'd get maybe half a dozen cards out of this packet, which again would be $2, and it's a nice border, and it's something a bit special, and I work it into the rest of what I'm doing on my card. And there's all these little tags and things and some more borders. See, I've used that much on a card. So don't forget about stickers. They're, now they call them dazzles, they're not stickers. If you put dazzles on them, you can charge 5 times as much. These are just little tiny borders, and they can look really nice on your card in moderation. So keep your eyes open constantly for normal things that you might be able to use on cards, and we'll see if we can make a card now. Okay, so our new crafter has been out to Kaiser Craft and picked up one of their 6.5-inch paper pads on clearance for $5. Paper pads, I think, are like embellishments. Don't go overboard. If you don't have to have the absolute latest paper, you'll get much better deals when it's last year's paper, and it's just coloured paper. I mean, unless somebody's paying you to be on a design team and use the latest stuff, there's some really pretty papers. They're still pretty this year, the same as they were last year and this year, and they're not going to date. So $5, and that's going to last ages in card making. That's a fairly masculine stack, I think. It's called In the Attic, but because you also get, with the Kaiser ones, you get a few different shapes and things at the end, which I usually forget about and sometimes struggle to use, but I've managed to use a few out of this one. So we've just picked a few papers, and here's the card we're going to do. And this would be a really good masculine card. You could also raid the garage and pick out a few washers and screws and put them on. You'll need a strong glue if you're going to start putting metal on. But the other thing, if you've got somebody really into computers, see if you can get rid of a broken circuit board or something and pull off bits and put them on. You could also use bits of old watches. Just think, what's the person interested in? Is there something that interests them? If it's a fisherman or something, maybe some fishing paraphernalia. Think about what might interest the person you're giving the card to, and you can use this sort of technique for making it for them. The other thing we're going to get is some glue dots, which usually either come in sheets or on a roll. I got this one at the craft store, but I have seen them in the $2 shops in a yellow box, but I couldn't find them recently. These were from a $2 shop and they were $2 for the packet. Some craft shops have them at horrendous prices. Shop around for your glue dots. If you're working with children at all, these are brilliant because it's as strong as a hot glue without being dangerous. So, you know, I think they're great. But for putting on things like your buttons, they're really good. So if we put this aside and we want to cut some squares, and I've made them 1.5 inches. I mean, you can get a punch to do this, but if you're just starting, don't get a punch that'll do squares. Get a punch that'll do circles that are much harder to cut without the tool. You know, think about what's the most economical way to, you know, use the funds that you've got. I know I'm sort of starting to preach a bit here, but you know, I don't like buying something that I can do without it as long as I'm just not too lazy. Okay, that's 4. Be 6 squares. Put my scraps aside. I mean, I'll probably hang on to that. I won't hang on to those. Scraps can get away from you. They really can. So, what did I do with this? I'm going to use this. It does actually have a tag in it. It's plasterboard tape. Again, you'll never guess where I got it. But I'm just going to put a strip of that more or less down the middle. I forgot to get out our crafters work mat. Never mind, you'll forgive me for that, I'm sure. I'm just going to put a bit of that down the middle. Work out how we want to put these. It's not going to work, is it? Because I actually have an extra pattern on the other one. Maybe that would be a good idea. I don't have to work the brain too hard at that point. Okay, the brain's not going to work anyway. Maybe if we swap. Makes no difference. Foam squares. see, I mean that's just a decorative paper clip and some gold thread and a button. And these are weird buttons, they have only a single hole in them. What else did I use? Some twine. Twine, what do you call it? Wool, that'd be the word. Okay. Of course, on my sample one, I put all these bits on before I put the sticky on, didn't I? And I thought I'll be so much more efficient while I'm filming. With the previous one I just used sticky tape and I put my foam dot on after I put the sticky tape on, and that was a better plan. And I'm going to run into the same problem with this one. So I guess the thing is, don't put your foam dots on until after you've put your embellishments on. This one will be alright. Oh, except that it hasn't stuck at all. It'll be right. How strange. These glue dots, the hardest part seems to be to get it off the backing paper. Some of them are more obliging than others. One of our pearls. In the middle. And around and just tie a knot. Tying a knot shouldn't be this hard. One brilliant thing you can do with these tweezers is hold your knot while you finish tying it. That one, and I need to put some string through. Oh, my string has two ends. String is actually a bit thick. I'm just going to pull it apart. of. Last thing, a bow. This is just that paper ribbon or paper string I was saying, and I just keep mine on a spool. I just wound it because it comes in skeins which tend to come undone, so and I'm doing this last because I need a bit of white glue to hold this on. And there we have it. So it's yeah, a simple masculine card. You could equally do that in a floral paper and put little flowers on it. You could put little blings on it. You could do, if you had a fairy paper, you could then you know, have little fairies and castles, and you can adapt that sort of thing very easily to all sorts of different people and interests. And so I hope that's a useful idea, and that you really start just looking around for embellishments, and certainly do not feel you have to go and shop for prima flowers and things like that. Learn to make your own flowers. There's plenty of videos on how to do that, and flower sprays and all the things that you might want to put on a card. The majority of them you can make, and if not, you can often buy them in bulk and no name without buying the expensive brands. So that's just my opinion on embellishments. I don't want to make a card that's cost me $10 to make, especially since I give my cards away. I don't make any money on them. So, yep, that's embellishments covered. Thank you.